We're going live.
Cool.
Are we live? Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Spiritual Events and Directory. How are you all going? Today I am interviewing the lovely Melanie Spears, who is the creator of the Gratitude Diary. For those of you who haven't seen me posting about it all over Spiritual Events and Directory, here it is here. So Melanie is the author of that. So it's 365 days of a beautiful diary, so you can write everything that you're grateful for. It's an amazing diary, and Melanie's going to share with us her story on creating that gratitude, as well as giving us tips and tools to bring more gratitude into our life. And I also have Adrian Hanks on as well. So Adrian is here to support me. Hello, am I unmuted? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I keep on muting for some reason. Something's happening with my computer. So Adrian's going to help with that. Plus also he's in on the chat as well. And if anybody else wants to come in as well, you don't have to be live with us, but just click on the link, join the Zoom, and you can ask questions here so we can read them out to Melanie, or you can jump on live and chat to Melanie as well. So thanks so much for joining me, Melanie. How are you going?
Yay, good, Sarah. This is actually my first live webinar, so I was a little bit nervous, but I can see I'm in good hands. So, so yeah, good, really good today.
That's good. All right, Melanie, would you be able to just share with us, I guess, just a little bit? We'll start where your journey began, like even before the gratitude. Like, are you just an author of the Gratitude Diary, or do you have certain practice? You know, you're a practitioner of some sort, and where did that all start? Just to give a background of you.
What makes me laugh is that you called me an author, and the truth about that is that I'm actually dyslexic and haven't been able to spell or write from a very, very early age. So it's kind of weird that I end up being a person who communicates through writing. And yeah, you're right. My career actually started in health back in 1987, and I went to Bathurst, which is where I am right now with my folks, Bathurst University, Charles Sturt, and studied applied science and specialised in community mental health. So wow. Yeah, so that's where my kind of I guess journey began.
Yeah,
and that was in the public health system. So my job was to look after people who were really mentally and emotionally unwell, and I mean like really, really unwell.
Yeah.
I was on the crisis team.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I did that for probably 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And after about sort of halfway through that career, I moved to Byron Bay, and I ended up working at the Byron Bay Community Health Centre. And if someone would have a freak out, in this main street of Byron Bay on a Saturday night, 2 o'clock in the morning, I was the one who would carry the buzzer and drive in to deal with the freak out. And it was, so it was a pretty intense job and stressful, but incredibly rewarding as well. Incredibly rewarding. Yeah.
Alrighty. And so how did the gratitude journey begin for you?
It's really interesting. I just could not get deep soul satisfaction from what I was doing, and it was weird because I was so good at it. I was so good at my job, and I reckon I had a natural affinity for taking care of people who were disassociated, or who were having some sort of a mental or emotional breakdown. So it was weird to be so good at something and yet on the inside just feel so deeply discontent. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, earning good money doing something that they've trained for and they've studied for, but at the same time there's just something that's not lining up inside of themselves. And one day I did a beautiful workshop with God, it might have been you, Adrian. I did a workshop with someone, and we just looked at our values. We looked at what were our primary values in life? You know, what were they? And then from that value system, what was the priority of those values? So on this workshop, I listed all of my values, and that was things like, well, what's important to me? And they were things like freedom is a primary value. Living a chemical-free existence lifestyle, you know, an organic life was a value. Being responsive and emotionally attentive to people, you know, delving into that emotional world, that was a value. And so when I looked at my values and then put them in order, I looked at the job that I was doing. I was working in the health system, 9 to 5, you know, ish, and I was chemically restraining people. You know, that's how I would get people off to hospital, you know. And did we do anything around their emotionality at all? Did we do anything about their inner childhood issues or their past? No, we don't cater for that. Did we look at diet at all? No. So here I am working in this job that I thought I was doing what I wanted to do, but turns out that it's no way I could make those two meet. There's no way I could stay in the public health system and do what I wanted to do in alignment to my values.
Yeah.
So I jumped ship, and it was a really, really hard decision, but I'm really glad I did, because that's why I was able to channel through and bring through the gratitude diary, and that jumping ship is what I teach people to do now. It's like when you get to this point in your life and you know that you want to continue, but you can't see the direction, but you know that you want to continue.
Yeah, exactly.
Different way.
Yeah. So how long after then did you stay? And how long, I guess we'll say, how long have you been doing the gratitude diary for?
Well, the 11th edition this year. So last year was 10 and this year's 11.
Wow, that's amazing. I only it come into my awareness probably about 3 years ago when I started wholesaling for you. So no, it's amazing, and everybody loves it. It's such an easy, you know, if you do expos and things like that, you know, they just go like hotcakes. So
I get a lot of feedback, and what's kind of happening is I'm just getting these loyal followers, and they're just like, oh, we can't wait for you to do the next one. We can't wait. And I have people emailing me in July. When are you doing? You know, is the next year one available? And I'm kind of thinking, why are people emailing me 6 months before they even have to start? But that's how much kind of juice is on it. So it's been really cool, actually. It's been really cool.
Exactly, because it's more than just a diary. Like, I was looking through it. I've got it here. As you guys see, I've got it here. And you share things in it. You know what I mean? Like, there's about you were saying how you've just started your sorry, I might not know the right wording for it, but the ancestral
family constellations work.
That's it. That's it. So you share about that, and then you give tips on, you know, how you can sort of say a certain thing to heal that part. You know what I mean? So it's more than a diary. It's amazing. You've done such a good job, and that's why it's so popular.
You know what? It's not even a diary. It's actually it goes out there under the guise of a diary, because I've got to give it a name in the publishing, you know, bookshop world. I've got to call it something, so it's called a diary. It's not even a diary. It's a tool for growth and transformation.
Yeah, definitely.
And it just so happens to have little time slots in there if you want to make an appointment. But that's
exactly.
It's not what's pushing the sales, put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Exactly. But it is really cool that it is a diary because we look at it every day. Absolutely. You know, we don't just put it in the bookshelf, read it, and then
And the reason I did that, Sarah, is because when you start getting into the practice of gratitude, it's a practice, and you have to practice. It's a bit like working out. You know, you can't just kind of work out, you know, and one day and then 3 months later decide you're going to go again. It has to become something that's being built into your routine. Until it becomes normal, you know, until it becomes just integrated into your body.
Yeah, exactly. I know the power of gratitude as well. So other people, if they don't know already, can you just share some tools and tips that somebody could like start today, bringing gratitude into their lives?
Yeah, absolutely. So you don't even need to buy the diary to do this.
Exactly. No, you have to buy the diary. The link is in the blurb.
You have to buy the diary. No. What you need to do to start the practice is just every day orientate yourself towards something that you appreciate.
Yeah.
So that appreciation, and we could do a whole 3 hours on appreciation. Because of course what happens is when you appreciate, you are giving, right? So this whole teaching around gratitude is about the essence of giving. So when you give your attention, your law of the universe says that must give back.
Yes.
So the more you can give, the more that reflection will be given back.
Yeah.
So the practice of gratitude is about giving of your attention to something, right? And all of a sudden, you're still in your ego, but you're using your ego in a way that gives back to you. Now, the opposite of that is to go out in the world and be judgmental, and to see something and to cast a negative dispersion onto something. So, look at the weather. So you're outside, you go, oh, look at the weather. It's windy. And of course, that wind's going to hit you and knock you around, right? Or, look at those people over there, like, and you walk away feeling, well, they've gained nothing. There's just nothing that's been gained. But when you look at the weather and appreciate the weather, then that energy cycle of the weather gives back to you. You might appreciate the rain, and then you smell the negative ions, or you notice the negative ions that come into your body. And so this is a practice that you will either appreciate your reality, or you'll judge it.
Yeah.
So what you resist persists. So if you resist the wind, or your reality, or the people on the table next to you, those people on the table next to you are going to appear to become louder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you might appreciate those people next to you and they're having a laugh, and you might say, what are you laughing at? And they include you. So you become inclusive.
Yeah.
Becoming inclusive to your environment. So you're either judging or you're rejecting. Sorry, you're either appreciating or rejecting. Now, you can be the same person in the same room in exactly the same environment, and your experience will be completely polar opposite, all depending on whether you're appreciating or judging and rejecting.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So the practice every day, and this is just a mini practice, is to go outside and just find something to appreciate right now. So whoever's online, jump in, do it now. Yeah. Just right now in your office, just look around. What can you see right now, Sarah, in front of you that you can appreciate?
Oh, you and Adrian.
Yeah, you and Adrian. What do you got?
You and Adrian. Oh, do I have to just pick one?
Yeah. Okay, me and Adrian. Okay, cool.
Oh, you didn't hear that?
Yeah, great. Okay, now what about in your office? What about in your space?
In my space, I appreciate the light that's behind my Mac that makes me look a little bit brighter when I'm on the live.
Yeah, cool. So right there, what you just did, you're just tuning into to technology. So to the advancement and the frequency of technology that is helping us connect. Right. So there's your attention. So keep appreciating. Do you see how that what you just appreciated actually is connected to a whole tapestry of life, of evolution that is actually supporting us?
Yeah, exactly. So, Mel, like lots of people say that we need to appreciate too the things that aren't so great. So, we go outside and we have a look and the birds are singing, and we might be grumpy, so we don't really see that and appreciate it normally. Yeah. But what about like you know, like you've got an illness or something like that, how would you like turn it around to really be able to find the gratitude in the adversity, I guess, that happens in our lives?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the third step in my program called the Master Key that I'm launching probably in 2 weeks' time, is to look for the goodness in the adversity. Now, yep. it's everything's perception. So your adversity is perceived. So if I have chronic fatigue, and I did have chronic fatigue, what my resistance to that chronic fatigue created was more chronic fatigue. Because remember, what we judge and resist persists. So I had chronic fatigue 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. So chronic fatigue was my doorway into my new self. So when I learned that my chronic fatigue was actually my gift, what I learned was not only was my chronic fatigue my gift, my chronic fatigue was teaching me what I needed to do to become a super empowered, superhuman being. It showed me. Now, had I have not had chronic fatigue, I may be still living at Condobolin, eating a very bad diet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so it not only did my chronic fatigue show me what I needed to change in order to evolve, it also pushed pressure on my emotional doorway, and it said to me, you have to start feeling, you have to open up, you have to start processing these childhood emotions that are keeping you stuck and keeping you small. So one by one, when I'm, not being able to work in my chronic fatigue state, not being able to do anything, I had enough energy to pick up my guitar. And so then I was able to start processing through creativity. Guess what? I can play the guitar. Now, I never had a lesson in music, but that situation put enough pressure on me, on my will, to push me into a place where I'm just going to play this damn guitar. But nothing, you know what I mean? I've got nothing else.
Yeah.
So if you resist any illness, you kind of got to work with it. You kind of got to align with it so that it can take you on the journey out the other side.
Yeah.
And so the practice is simply ask yourself, okay, well, what's good about this mess right now? What is this mess actually showing me? What does this mess allow me to do?
Yeah.
Does that resonate?
Yeah, it does. It does. Sorry, everyone. My computer's muting me for some reason. Yeah, it definitely resonates. For me personally, though, with gratitude and things, I like to write down the things that I'm grateful for. That has shifted a lot of things in my life. And that's why I think I love your diary so much, because I can just be writing. It's not a total plug for your diary, but it's like you can write in it. And that for me is great. Generally I just write on a pad, but yeah. All right, awesome. So Adrian, also I want to let everyone know too, I can see that there's comments on the video on the Facebook page, but if you guys just click on the link and join us on Zoom, you can comment and then I can read it out, or you can even come up on like Adrian is and and ask questions, which he's going to start asking some questions in a minute. Yeah, so come on. And then that way also you got a chance of winning a gratitude diary as well. So Melanie's giving away 2. So come on, otherwise Adrian's got to get it, and that's why he's here. He wants to give out the diary.
Of course.
And for those of you probably know Adrian, he has a show on Spiritual Events each week. Yeah, Adrian, ask Mel a question.
Yeah. So Mel, my question for you is around the writing process. Being a writer myself, I'd be really interested in what your writing process is to actually start and complete the diary every year.
Yeah, well, as I said before, Adrian, I'm not a writer as such, and I don't, you know, I don't believe that I write from a mental perspective. But what I try to do in the gratitude diary is I have an intent, right, which is to share my journey through the book. So that's pretty important, right, to have that intent. So then I'll have a situation that arises that's quite powerful for me, and if it's powerful for me, chances are it's going to be also a transformation point for someone else. So really, I'm just wanting to share what I've kind of been through and experienced and how I got through it. So I really just want to share, how I broke through, so that my readers who also had that same particular issue can can break through as well. So when I write, I just, I think I'm pretty open in that I'm uncensored. So I will literally do a total just stream of consciousness, and just go blah. And then I will I'll be honest. Being honest, I think, is really important, or at least as honest as I can be with the amount of consciousness I've got at the time. And so being honest and just, stream of consciousness. And then when I get to the end of, so it's all about me, basically. I'm an Aries.
I'm married to one too, so I get
You're married to one. Okay, so you know about Aries. It's all about me. But then at the end, I will turn it around and I will go, okay, so what about you? You've had me. What about you? And how does this particular thing, this particular aspect show up for you in your life? Ask yourself these questions, and so there come my questions, and they're leader questions to say, well, here's the story, here's the juice. Now, what about you? And then I turn it around and then go, okay. And I'm not really there to facilitate. I'm really just there to hold the space open for someone to just consider, and it may not be a thing for that particular reader, or it may be a thing in 5 years' time, or it may have been a thing 10 years ago. But chances are, my theory, chances are, at some point in our evolution, we all go through doorway.
And Melanie, do you set yourself a bit of a time frame around that? Like you start in a certain time of the year, where you say, I've got 2 months to complete this process, or what's your process for that?
Normally, like right now, everything's about getting, diary going out into the world. There's hundreds of emails. There's orders that have gone missing. There's stock requirements. There's, like shops. There's Christmas, right? Shops going berserk, wanting books. So normally this time of the year is just me, just allowing that diary to get out there into the world. Yeah. And then after Christmas, I have a break during sort of January, and then February, I'll go February, March, April will be my creative phase. And sometimes I will actually go and lock myself away for some of that time and just bunker down and just do it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And Mel, you said that you were dyslexic, so you can't read and write. Is that right? So how do you write a book when you can't read and write? So you obviously have people supporting you to do that.
It's like I can write, I can write a sentence, but I won't spell anything properly, and I will say the same thing over and over again in different ways, because it's an emotion that wants to come out. So what I do is I just go, like, I'll just express myself emotionally because I need to. And then I have an amazing editor, and she comes back and I go, right, can you please make sense of this? And she's amazing, and she'll come back and go, oh, okay, you've said that twice. Edit. Da-da-da. And she makes sense of my jumble. She must be psychic. I don't know.
She probably is.
But I think what's coming through is maybe it's a really good thing that I don't write from here, because I think it's coming through as energy.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's what's important, because I've read books and I'm bored shitless. They are so dry.
Yeah.
And it's more information. And I was like, yeah, I want to give information, but actually what I want to give is rocket fuel. I want to give you something. I want to give you a lollipop to suck on that's going to change your life forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why it's so successful. And you're such an inspiration to others because, you're saying that you are dyslexic. So you're doing this through not being a writer, because you look at and you think authors know how to write. Like they were really good at English at school and things like that. And it's like, and I know there's lots of, I guess, people that write spiritual books aren't like that typically, and it is because, they're channeling or spirits come through and like you said, which is amazing. So I might write a book too because I'm not a very good writer either.
Well, you don't know what you are, because what I actually think is, I think we're given, because I get these sort of like tinglings in my body where it's like, I'm processing something and this is really important, and then I'll be given like kind of like a download, and I've just got I could be on my phone and I've just got to do that, I've just got to get it out, and then I've got this this PDF, and it's like, oh, so did I write that? Or was I open enough to receive the download?
Yeah, exactly.
And we've got dictation now, so it's not even about you writing; it's about you capturing your inspirations. So grab your phone. If you have an inspiration, grab your phone and speak it into your microphone. Save it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm just we've got some people on, so if you want to ask a question, I will read it out to Mel. And again, guys, I put the link in the comments, so just click on the link and come through so you can have a chat to
me. I saw a question come up there, Sarah. Did you grab that?
Sorry, I've gone muted again. Okay. It's just like I chat. Spirit, the universe doesn't want me talking. It just mutes me when I start talking.
I got some from Mel Brannon. Yeah.
I just managed to join Zoom. I'd love to get one of these books. Okay, awesome. Well, you got a chance of winning one, Mel. Now that you're
I want to ask Mel why. Why do you want one of these books?
So the question is, you're going to ask the questions now.
She's an Aries, I tell you. She's told us.
She's an Aries, yeah. She's a bit controlling, isn't she? But Mel has to answer that for a chance to win a book.
No, I'm just curious. Like, I actually genuinely am curious.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd want to know that too for your own, your business.
I want to know what, is it working? Is it helpful? Can I do it better? Why do you like it? What's good? What do you like about it? What's good? What should I change? What else do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
What else can I give?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're so successful. You're asking the right questions and you're listening, and
don't be scared. Like, honestly, don't be scared. I want to connect with my readers, and I want to help as much as I can. Because we've got the technology now. We can fill a room. So
exactly. Let's wait. We'll wait, Mel, if Mel, who's on in the chat, if she's going to answer that. But I'm going to ask you another question, Melanie. Can we chat about your workshop? You mentioned earlier that you have a workshop that's coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, can we just chat about that? And where is it? And is it online or is it in person? Like, how is that?
So in the gratitude diary at the back, we've got my workshop schedule for next year.
Okay.
And what I've recently been training in is the work of Bert Hellinger, which is family constellations work. And that work, from what I can see, because I've been into emotional processing for about 10 years now, and it's good, working one-on-one, but I haven't seen anything as powerful as when you get 15 people inside a room and you are using what I call the trigger points of your stuff. So if you stand in a room with the people that affect you the most emotionally and spiritually, and you stand in the room with those people, most people can't stand in a room with those people without getting triggered. right? So we stimulate that environment with the intent of clearing some things that are resisting.
Yeah.
And that's the work that I've trained in. And I love it, because what happens is because of the truth that we're all connected in the fabric of life. If I'm processing, for example, you, Adrian, and your relationship with your father, chances are that the person that you choose to represent your father is going to be someone that's emotionally very similar to your father. And chances are that that person's actually going to figure a lot of stuff out in that interaction.
Yeah, it's very powerful, isn't it? I've done some family constellation work, quite a lot actually, and the power of that is quite amazing, of what that spiritual connection comes through. And I think that's what it creates, and as you know, is that it creates that universal energy.
It does. It creates the universal energy. It's also called the field of phenomenology.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you that I know exactly what's going on there. I can think I know. I can think I can say, oh, the spirit of your father has entered the room, Adrian. You know, I think I can say that.
I believe it does anyway.
Right? Now, whether he does or whether he doesn't, we don't know. But if we're working with the law of attraction, even the fact that the person that you've chosen has got some, let's just say, some vibrationary energy that is similar to that of your father, then that's enough.
Yeah,
that's enough. That's enough for you, and that's enough for him. And so, we're rocking and rolling at that point.
Yeah.
And it's really safe. It's really safe, because let's just say you've got a victim perpetrator situation. You can bring that perpetrator into the room, someone to represent that perpetrator. And the person that we're always using, this is really good for the listeners to know, that when you're actually doing your piece, you don't actually have to get in there. You actually sit to the side and watch it like it's a movie happening on television. So this work does not re-traumatize. It does not put you into a situation where there's any risk of having those wounds reopened. And I just love that. I love how gentle that is. There's no risk of re-traumatizing. And I've learned a lot over the years about, it's just wanting to help people so much, but actually realizing that what I could do in my ego, to try and push someone into healing, what I realize is that I can push them to their trauma, and it re-traumatizes. So this work, it's divine.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. I don't know a lot about it, but it's coming into my awareness a little bit, so maybe I need to look into it.
Well, you'll know after the workshop with Melanie.
Yeah. I won't be traumatized though. I'm sitting here thinking, oh, who would I have? I know who I'll have. Yeah. No, it sounds really good. So where is it, Mel? Is it in what?
So we have two events in Bali, one in May and one in September.
Yeah.
And we have one event in Byron Bay, and we have one event in Tasmania, which is where I live half of the year.
Oh, awesome. Anyway, we'll be advertising them on spiritual events anyway, so you'll be able to find that.
Great.
So you're like, oh, I didn't know that. That's what we do. We promote events. Yeah, no. So we'll definitely have them up there for people to find. So you've got Facebook, or we'll promote your page anyway. So what's your Facebook page so they can go and find it? Is it in the events tab on Facebook?
Not yet, but I'm sorting that out pretty soon. I'm just catching up with all my social media kind of stuff. But I do have a Facebook page, which is a gratitude diary, and people can message me there and I can send information. But also the full list of workshop events is on the website, which is givingthanks.com.au, and just click on workshops, and they'll be all listed under workshops, and then just shoot me an email and I can get you the information package.
Yeah.
You do payment plans as well. You can pay it off over 6 months.
No, it sounds great. So obviously the Bali ones are retreats. Yeah. So how long do they run for?
7 days.
Oh, I might come. When did you say it was?
May and September.
Adrian, do you want to look after some children?
Oh, no. I'm done with my children. I'm on holiday now. Permanent holiday.
All right, awesome. So we've got some more questions. Okay, so Mel, I'm trying to practice being mindful and believe this will help, especially to help me through being a single mum with a teenager.
Yeah. And so the practice of, and this is for Mel Brennan, and yeah, the practice is will help of appreciating.
Exactly.
You know, like, yes, you are a single mum now. Just to flip that around, I know a lot of people who are in relationships and they're not single mums, and that's pretty tough. As that can be pretty tough as well.
Yeah.
You know, so the book will help you just kind of teach your brain how to look at what you know, the goodness of how things actually are. You know, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you start getting into that practice, everything becomes orientated into actually where it's good. And so then we form a relationship with, well, these are the good parts of my life. And you know, I've got a beautiful daughter. Just said that. Could be a son. Got a beautiful friends. I've got no drama with a dysfunctional, toxic relationship.
Yeah.
So I've got this amazing connection here that's good. And you know, I haven't had children, so you know, I can say straight away, well, wow, you know, that's really cool. You've got that beautiful connection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I've been a single mum. I was a single mum for 7 years with my my 2 kids. So I know exactly what you're going through, Mel. And it's like also just shifting to go, you know what, as Melanie said, it's like if the kids are going to the fathers and things like that, like you're getting that break. So if you're in a relationship, you've got the kids, it's not the best, but you've always got the kids. You don't ever get a break from the children or the relationship. Do you know what I mean? So it's just shifting how you think about things.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what I did 7 years ago, exactly that, because I was really stuck in the, I'm looking after these kids and you're out doing whatever you want, and I was stuck in it so much. And I'm like, hang on a minute, same thing, shifted. I've got the love of the children every day. They tell me that they love me, you know, all these things, and he obviously wasn't a part of that, you know. So just shifting, it's just amazing. Yeah. So
and look, Sarah, I just have to say that I realise I haven't got my computer plugged in. I'm down to 3%. Can you guys have a chat and just give me 30 seconds to go and plug my computer in?
Yeah. Love it. This is what it's about, casual chats. No worries, doll. All right, Adrian. So we've got Georgina. Georgina, do you want to ask a question, doll? Oh, well, not a question of Mel because she's not here, but she'll be here in a minute and we'll read it out to her. So, Adrian, what do you do? What's your gratitude tool?
Look, for me, there's 3 aspects of gratitude I love to work with. That's self-gratitude of what I give me, gratitude of what the world gives me, but also the gratitude of what I don't have to put up with in life. You know, like I'm not in a wheelchair, you know, I don't have this infliction or I don't have that illness. So for me, there's 3 aspects of the gratitude. Grateful for what I give me, grateful for what the world and people give me, but also grateful for what I don't have to endure. So I work with that gratitude every day in those 3 realms, and I find it really powerful.
Yeah. So do you just, so how do you do that? Do you write it down? Do you just sit in meditation every day? Like how?
Look, a bit of both. I do it in contemplation meditation, but I also journal every day as well. Like I've got my own journal that I write in. And in that process, while I'm writing, I'm realizing the gratitude of my daily life. So I write about my physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, sexual, intimate, blah, blah, blah. And in each of those aspects of life, I can become grateful for how I live my life each day. So it's a very, very powerful process. I'm just thinking of Mel just now, you know, the gratitude now plugging into the power. You know, the gratitude of picking up a pen to be able to write because I'm educated to write.
Exactly. So just seeing the positive of everything.
Every moment there's, you know, if I choose to, there's every moment there's a moment of gratitude.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you alluded to it too. Even sometimes when it's not so positive, how do I find the gratitude in that as well?
Exactly. I find, Adrian, I don't know about you, but I find when adversity does come into my life, like I, for a couple of years, was pretty stuck in some stuff, but I can see that it happens when I'm not being grateful for things and I'm not in flow and I'm a bit like a grumpy, you know, getting into that lower vibration, that this adversity comes to shake me up, to go, hang on a minute. And that's when I get back into the daily practice of things, you know, of gratitude. And gratitude's always my go-to, writing what I'm grateful for. And it's just so simple, like I am grateful for, and whatever that is. And the next line, it doesn't have to be hard. And another really powerful thing that I do is the I am. So I would do the gratitude on one page and the I am such and such, I am, and it would be what I want to be, you know, because I never felt I was very confident, and I wanted to be confident so that I could speak on video and interview people and things like that. So it'd be like, I am confident, and I am a good interviewer, and I am a good speaker, and I am a clear communicator, and all those things just constantly over and over and over every day. And it's just amazing how much you shift, isn't it?
It's like how we change the subconscious mind, by telling ourselves and reprogramming each and every day that I am, I am, I am. Otherwise, the old pattern, the old story is I am not, I am not, I am not.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's continually reprogramming in the subconscious mind to say, I am. And a lot of it's about that self-deservability. I deserve.
Yeah,
and that's about self-love, which is part of the gratitude too.
Exactly.
Self-love, you know, so. And we have Mel back.
Yeah, and I was just going to say quickly, sorry, you do a mastery program too on that, which is amazing because I've done that, and we go through those practices. So
we certainly do.
Yeah, well done.
So Melanie's plugged back into the matrix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's plugged back in. Hey, Val.
I'm grateful that I have power again.
Yeah.
with 1% to spare on my computer.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. Alrighty, so we've got Georgina who has asked a question. I'm grateful for not having to endure the genetics of the family, but my allergies is out there. Adversity makes you stronger in my experience, and I had very tough challenge raising a disabled child. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, Georgina would really, you know, to get through things like that, like you really do need to tap into that gratitude and to get yourself through the really hard times like that. I couldn't imagine having a disabled child. So that's amazing, Georgina, that you have that self-awareness and everything.
I'm curious. I'm just not quite sure what you mean, Georgina, by not having to endure the genetics of the family, because as far as I know, everybody has to endure the genetics of our family. And maybe I'm just not quite, maybe we're just meaning two different things on that one. You know, being a therapist who deals with clearing genetic trauma. I'm curious to know what you mean by that. So yeah, I'd be interested to know more.
Yep. So answer that, Georgina, if you feel. And anyone, come on and talk and ask questions. We don't have many people. Thought more people would join in. You get a chance to win a diary, which is amazing. Yeah, because the diaries are awesome. Alrighty. Do you have anything else, Adrian, you would like to ask now?
Tell me about your book, Adrian, because I know that you're wanting to. Sounds like you're wanting to bring something through.
Oh yeah. So look, I've actually got my first novel I've written. That's taken 4 years.
Wow.
So really super exciting. So I've just had that, and I think I want to pick up on what you said about having a brilliant editor. Editors are just godsends. I just love my editor. She's absolutely amazing. Same as you, I just write and make mistakes and put things and add things that shouldn't be there, and she just gets a red pen and just goes through it. And it's just beautiful to have that teamwork in that. But likewise, Mel, just sitting in that space of gratitude that I have the ability to open up, to download my story, my novel, is just amazing. So lots of gratitude in that. And I'm really looking forward to publishing that next year and having my novel out there in the world as well. So,
what's it called? Have you got a kick-ass title for that?
I have, but it's very secret. It's not being spoken of as yet. It's actually a sequel to a very famous novel. And a very futuristic, very positive, about utopian lifestyle on the planet. It's going to be a cracker. I'm calling it my airport book, where people walk into the airport and pick it up to read when they go and fly.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
So my vision is to see it in every airport on the planet. That's
yeah. Oh, beautiful.
So So I'll swap you my book for your diary.
Yeah.
Signed copies.
Deal. Okay, we can work on the promotion.
Yeah, and it is that absolute gratitude of the ability to have the time and the energy and the education to be able to write that book. And it is every day. I'm just grateful that I'm in the space in my life where I can spend time writing, because it's what I love doing.
Yeah, beautiful. And are you going to self-publish?
Look, no, I've self-published a couple of books, my children's book and my personal development book, but I'm looking for Penguin or one of the big publishers. So and just give it to them and just make lots of money.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
That's the vision. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good vision.
Anybody listening in who knows anybody in Penguin, just feed me a PM.
Exactly. All right, Mel Brennan's asked a question. She's asked, when is the best time to be grateful? Do we start to practice first thing in the morning or the end of the day, or both?
When is the best time to breathe?
She might be, yeah, exactly. You should be grateful all day, every day. But maybe she's referring to because we were talking about writing the things that we're grateful for. So she might be asking like when the best time to do that is, because we can't be writing all day throughout the day.
Yeah. So just bear in mind, Mel, that the writing is actually just the practice.
Yeah, the practice, yeah.
So, but what we're really wanting to do is we're wanting to start to orientate this throughout the whole course of the day. So for me, I can't just wake up out of bed and start, looking for what's grateful, because I haven't had my day. So for me, I might just do some little notes before I go to bed. So, and then just reflect, like, so how did my day unfold? What was really good about what just occurred. So that's one way of using it in a reflective sense.
Yeah.
But the other way of doing it is actually when you first, that's my puppy in the background, is to get up in the morning, and this is a different way of using it, and actually write down all of the things that you're grateful for that are about to happen. I'm really grateful. Let's just say you're going for a job interview. I am really, really grateful and excited that I just gave a kick-ass interview and that I stayed in my center the whole time, and I really wowed the panel. I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
So now you're climbing pretense. So we can go past tense or pretense, and both work. And this is when we get into using gratitude as a tool for manifestation. I mean, Louise Hay, I guess she pioneered that, didn't she? She gave, today I'm really appreciative of, of me, and I am wonderful, powerful, beautiful, and abundant. That's their affirmations. It's a similar kind of trick, but it's more than that. It's giving the emotional energy to that thing that you want to manifest. And so, if you want to take that one step further, make notes in your gratitude diary about what it is that you want. It's in the morning now. I'm talking about the morning practice. Make notes about what it is, and then take those three gratitudes and take them on your walk. When you're walking, bring energy to those three things. Bring that energy to your intent. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, she was wondering when to write them. Great. Thanks for your questions, Mel. Oh, we've got more people. Yay! Hey, everyone. Hey. Okay, so if you want to ask a question, just ask it in the chat box and I'll read it out to Mel. We do have lots of questions on the video. But yeah, if you want to ask a question, just join in, and that way you get a chance to win the diary as well. So just click on the link. It's super easy. All right, what else can we talk about?
I have a question for you, Mel.
Sure.
Just in terms of the availability of the book, like, is it through Australia? Is it overseas? Like, where do you actually have the book in?
Okay, so we're really strong in Australia, and of course, my website is the go-to place for that. But also, I do have a stockist in the UK, in London, and so from London we can go all the way over Europe, and so that's how I reach my European readers. And we also have now a stockist in Arizona, in the States, So we're now in kind of places like Sedona and Phoenix and that kind of is it the Midwest? Yeah, that kind of area. And so from there we can send to Canada. But I am looking for someone in Canada.
That'll probably be the connection with the intention. Just to let you guys know, before we started the live, Mel said to us, let's put an intention out for what for this live. So Mel wanted to connect with a couple of people, so that might be one that you might connect with.
Yeah, the Canadian link. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pretty much to answer your question, Adrian, worldwide, we're world not wide now, and we're finding that we're getting people from all over the world joining in on the courses and on chats and things like that. So yeah, it's
fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
Great growth.
Yeah. But started in Byron Bay, so there you go.
Absolutely.
A little bit of a plug for the Northern Rivers.
I was there in the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't realise that Adrian and Melanie knew each other. They're like, oh, hey. But Adrian knows everyone, so I'm not surprised. Yeah. So I was just thinking about that. A lot of people think, the overnight success and everything like that. But you've been doing it for 11 years and you started out in Byron. And I think that's really important for people to know as well, that it's a consistent thing. It's action every day, every year, everywhere. And then all of a sudden, like the 11th year, you're global with your diary, which is absolutely amazing. So it's sticking with something. You're obviously passionate about it and love it, and that's why you've stuck with it. But not giving up, because I think that we give up a lot, like that saying that you give up just before, the big break, and you will never know because you gave up just before. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And just to back you up on that one, Sarah, my first print run was 500 books, and I started selling these in a basket at the Brunswick Heads Saturday markets, and I would walk around and say, I made a book, and I would show my friends, I made a book, do you want to buy one? And that's literally how I started. And then I would just go to my local Brunswick Heads shops, and then I'd go to the Byron Bay shops and the Mullumbimby shops, and so I did that for the first year, and I sold 500 books. And then the second year I did 1,000 books, and then the third year I had Brumby Distribution contact me. So looking back, it was a credit card and a basket.
Yeah. I love that. I love that, because it's just again, that's inspiring to know that anyone can do anything. Yeah. You got the passion and take the action and keep going.
And that's true. If you have I think that's the key word is if you have passion for something, that's going to give you the rocket fuel that you need to go the endurance. So if you want to create a product or a book, or you've got an idea for a business, if it's just an idea about a way of making money, it probably won't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it'll work for a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
But if you actually can feel like an alignment with a cause and with a reason, then go for it. Because if your thing, this is your business idea or your thing that you want to do, if that is going to support your values in life, there becomes this kind of like a positive and a negative magnetic frequency that just keeps that relationship kind of on the cooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's that you got to work with your values. You got to work with what it is that's important to you, and then from that, find a way of converting that into a business. Find a way of converting that into something monetary, or a product, or a thing, or whatever it is. But I have a mentoring program on my website where I actually work with people who want to create something because they've got this thing inside of them they want to let out, and so we have a process where we can actually help you take the lions out of the cage.
Oh, that's fantastic. I might talk to you more about that one actually, because I've got an idea that I want to unleash. But I think I read somewhere that did you start off doing that, like workshops helping businesses? Yeah.
Yeah, I ran a workshop called Soul and Money. And it was basically using NLP processes to look at your money karma and your money story and what your relationship was like with money. Because what I found was that a lot of people have good ideas, but they've just got really, really crappy karma around making money, around abundance, basically.
Yeah.
And a lot of that that is inherited. It's genetic inheritance. So if your mother didn't have good karma with money and then parents before them, then you could be running a condition of poverty. You could be running a condition of lack. And so before I did the gratitude, I was doing soul and money workshops, because we live in such an abundant, place.
Yeah.
We should not, Western people should not be running conditions of lack. We just should not be going there. Third world countries, Africa, absolutely. There is so much lacking. But here, we're in one of the most luckiest countries in the world, Western. If you're Western, you're in the top 9% you're in the top 9% of global wealth. Just being a Western person. So, like, you got to work with that. No excuses. And so if you can just unravel a bit, get on the right track, which is that we are supported and we are really abundant, we have enough food to eat, it's good weather, you work with that and you can expand.
Yeah, exactly. Do you still do workshops and things on that, Mel, or you don't anymore?
At the moment, we're doing more of the family work, but it definitely will be opening up the money stuff again, because I'm in the Enneagram. I'm an 8, and my kind of whole thing here is about abundance.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, not Enneagram, the numerology thing.
Numerology. Yeah, an 8. Yeah, exactly. No, because that'd be amazing, and I think a lot of people still need that. That workshop in business and things like that. I know for myself, like, I've had my business for 7 years, and my biggest block around bringing in a lot of abundance was that I thought the more money I made, the harder I had to work.
Big mistake.
Exactly. And with having like I mentioned earlier, the single mom and having the two kids, I thought, like, how am I going to do this? So I created processes around not having to really work all that much so I could do it with them. But and now I'm just like, everything's gone.
Rocking and rolling now. That's fantastic.
I'm on a roll now. Yeah, I'm like, that's good. It's good.
That's great.
And Adrian would know. He's known me for many years. Adrian was actually my business coach. How many years ago when I started?
8 years ago or so, hey? 7 years ago? Yeah.
Because I had absolutely no business knowledge at all when I started.
We did some good work around that, just clearing some old stuff and swinging the pendulum to get your energy flowing.
Exactly. That was really good. Very good. Alrighty, we've got a few people in now. Has anyone else got any questions? Melanie, how do you break the cycle of lack? See, I told you this was a good one.
So, Georgina, it's personal for everyone. So, how I broke my cycle is probably going to be the issues around, my issues of lack are probably going to be slightly different to yours, but there are some universal and fundamental things that we all suffer from, and one of the most popular ones is lack of self-worth. So if I have a perception of myself that I really have nothing to give, then because of my own perception of what I believe I am or can create, then of course I'm not going to really be giving much, am I? And so a lot of my work in the early days was around really looking at my self-worth issues. So I actually had to make a conscious decision that I'm going to work on my self-worth.
Yeah.
And and I tracked that back to childhood stuff. I tracked that back to the fact that my parents were both working all of the time, and I didn't really have much sort of one-on-one time with them, and I could find 100 reasons why I thought I was unworthy, and then it was about unraveling that and going, okay, well, is it true? The work of Byron Katie really helps. Is it true? Is it true that I'm unworthy? Is it true that that I'm unloved? Is it true that I've got nothing? Is that true that I've got nothing to give? Is that true? So if you're familiar with the work of Byron Katie, you can actually download a worksheet on the internet, the Byron Katie worksheets, and they're really great questions to actually, and all you have to do with that process is just answer those questions honestly. If you answer those questions honestly, you will see that there's a lot going on here. It's actually not true.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I reckon that's step one is changing your mindset. But that's only step one, because step two is once you change your mindset, you still have to unravel the emotional seat that's talking to that mindset. So, I look at consciousness. You'll change the consciousness, but you have to look at the femininity. You have to look at the emotional seat. And a lot of people just teach either the consciousness or they teach the emotional seat. But what I like to do is I like to do this. I like to go, okay, well, this is what my consciousness is doing. This is what my emotional seat's doing. It's the yin and the yang, and it's the interface between both. And we have to look at both. So once you do the consciousness work, then you have to go, what is this thought making me feel? And when you get to that, then you have to be willing to feel that and feel it down into the bottom and sink into that feeling. And that can be challenging for a lot of people who are used to just, flipping stuff and shirking it off and avoiding stuff. Well, to be willing to sit with something that's been sitting there for a long time takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
But I can promise you it's the fastest way to your own opening. It's the fastest way. It is the door that if you go through, if you're willing to sit with your own sense of unworthiness for 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon, and you're willing to go in and go deep, then I can guarantee you that you'll be feeling a little bit different the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Ooh, alrighty. Oh, I've got another question. Thanks, Georgina. Georgina says thank you. Tracy, what do you do with energy vampires?
Put them in a jar. Or sleep with them. No, that was a past life.
Don't do that, please.
You give gratitude for them coming into your life so you can learn a boundary.
I thank them for how empowered I've become.
Exactly.
No, it's a really good question, Tracy, because I've actually had a big story with energy vampires, and we can talk about the miniseries True Blood. Have you ever watched True Blood, where it's about the fairies, the fairy realms, and the vampirical realms? If you haven't watched it, have you watched it, Sarah?
No. Oh, I've heard about it. I don't think I've ever watched it. Yeah.
Watch it. It's a lesson in what's actually happening in the fabric of the universe. There are such a thing as energy vampires. They exist. They're real. They know what they're looking for. They're there for a reason. And essentially, what we're talking about here is, now you got me going. That's what we want. You're
a wealth of knowledge. You're not just the gratitude diary. I mean, it's all the work you've done to,
Yeah. What we're essentially talking about here is we're talking about entity attachments. So this is what an energy vampire is, but they're actually entities that have been human souls in a body that have passed through to another dimension, but they're actually traumatized souls. So we're still talking about souls, right? So you don't think that for 1 minute that a vampire is something different from a human, because they're not. They're souls. We're all souls. So if you just collapse everything into the fact that we're souls. However, these souls are very depraved, and they're very needy, and they're desperate. They're desperate for energy. They can't breathe. They're grey, green, decaying bacterial beings. So you want to not hang out with those guys, because it will affect your energy. However, you probably notice that they're attracted to you. Why? Why is that? Why is that? And so that's something that's going on with you. If you are attracting energy vampires, that is something going on with your energy system where you're leaking.
Yeah.
And they're smelling you.
Yeah.
They're hooking into you. So you have to look at where's your leaks. What is it about you that you need to look at in yourself and heal, so that your auric field then becomes intact, so that you are now operating as a creative source being with your auric field around you properly. And so it's pretty, and I can help you process that if you give us a few more questions. But there's something going on in your energy system that is that is saying to these energy creatures, I'm available.
Mm.
I ask you now, why are you available? What do you think you're going to get from making yourself available to that connection? Now, for me, it was, I thought I was going to get love.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that, and I would stay in those dynamics for years.
Yeah.
Thinking that at some point, if I just was loving enough, if I just open up wider, if I'm just more compassionate, if I'm just more patient, at some point I will get love.
Yeah.
And love never came.
Yeah.
So big, hard lesson.
Yeah.
Hard lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can all relate. Oh, well, not all of us. A lot of us can relate to that, Melanie, for sure.
No one talks about it, but I can guarantee you, I reckon every single person has suffered from it more than once.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
More than once. Yeah. I've graduated that now, but it took a lot of self, it took a lot of self reflection and self analysis to get into me to say, Mel, what are you doing? Why are you putting all of your energy over there? Why?
Mm.
But I have to also say that there are people who are professional at this. They are professional. They're masters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so go back to the more sucking your energy vampire is, the greater you will grow in your own soul integrity. Because when you overcome that law of attraction, you will know this one and you won't go back.
Yeah.
And that energy vampire, that will be your greatest teacher, and you will thank in your gratitude diary, my energy vampire, because you have been my greatest teacher.
I do that all the time because I've got one still in my world. But yeah, Mel, I was going to ask you about what about when it's your children? Okay, so your children seemingly they don't really know they're doing it, but they can become energy vampires. Maybe they have to go and spend time with the other parent who is like that, so that energy is attaching to them, and then it's coming home into your house. Like, how I would think that would probably be a lot going on in houses too, unfortunately. So is there any, because you're saying that before you said, just detach from the energy vampire, but when it's your children, how would you do that?
Okay, well, let's there's a bit of distortion there in your thinking. So let's just look at that relationship mother and child.
Yep.
Now, I don't believe it's possible for a child to be an energy vampire onto a parent.
Yeah.
The child already shares the same auric field as the parent. The child came from you. You have been operating as an auric field together. And you still operate as an auric field connection to your own mother.
Mm.
So it's actually not possible for your children to suck on you. If you are perceiving that your children are sucking on you, then you're not loving them properly.
Okay, yep.
You are, for whatever reason, you are blocking part of your energy system to that little being.
Yep.
So that's about you.
Yep, that makes sense. I'm not saying it's about me. No, right, yeah.
If you're blocking, let's just say your heart's closed. If your heart's closed, this is a beautiful thing about children. If your heart chakra is closed to your children, they're going to hone in on that.
Yeah, and they're going to play up, and
they're going to push that. They're going to push that wound.
Yeah.
Until you're saying, "Get away from me."
Yeah.
You open up your heart chakra. Mummy, I love you.
Yeah.
No sucking.
Yeah.
Children actually give.
Yeah. What about if they're older children, though? Like adult children? It's not necessarily about little children.
If you
clean
up your blockages, your relationship to yourself, you will find an entirely different being that you're relating to.
Yeah.
Like just this morning, I watched a video on YouTube, and I think if you type in, it's something like, I was going to children with bad behavior, and now these parents were about to give their daughter away to the governmental agencies in the States. A specialist came in to show the parents where they were blocked. And within 3 months, this little girl, whose behavior was absolutely shocking, she was the nicest little thing that you could have imagined.
Wow.
It's all the parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
So
other-
is that even with, so I can understand if a parent treats a child poorly, however you feel that is, but if, I guess, is that what it was about, that, or was it actual energy, like the energy they were giving off, the child was playing on that? And
No, it was about the fact that when the baby was born, the mother did not have her heart open, and so for the rest of the child's existence, even as a baby, she was screaming and fighting for that energy, fighting for it, demanding it. No, I won't go to bed. No, 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 no. And she was defiant against the fact that she was not getting the love that she needed. It was a beautiful documentary, and to watch the turnaround.
and that's on YouTube?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you the link later on, and you can post it. But essentially, it's about the law of attraction. So if you deal with your wounding and where your energy centers are blocked, if you deal with that, your children will not have to process that.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't deal with that, your children will now become your law of attraction. So they'll push that energy back to you. And it may look like bad behavior, and it may look like sucking, and it may look like, abuse.
Yeah.
But what they're essentially doing is that stuff over here that you haven't dealt with, it's being reflected back to you over here, and they're pushing that energy back to you. Right? So if you really want to be a good parent, if you want to deal with children that are activating and triggering you, you say thank you to that activation. You say thank you, my child. Mummy's triggered. I'm going to take that trigger, and I'm going to work with it. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to drop down into that feeling, and I'm going to own it. Thank you, my little girl. Mummy needs to do some work on this.
Yeah.
They're
our greatest teachers.
If you let them be.
Yeah, exactly.
If you project your trigger back onto the child, right, you will teach your child how to project that, let's just call it a ball, back onto you.
Yeah.
You've done it. They had to learn. You're the master. You've taught them how to do it.
Yeah. And then you go, what is wrong with this child? Oh my God. And then I see that in my kids. I'm like, oh my God, that's me. They make you aware. Well, if you're aware, you can become very self-aware with your children, because they are little reflections.
Absolutely. And then you're either living with a shit fight, or you're living with a conscious mother who goes, do you know what? I want to be the most loving mother I can be. So I'm going to actually find a way to deal with what I'm feeling. And then that's going to show you how to do it as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
They're great teachers, aren't they, the children? That's why I had 6.
Yeah.
Still learning. Great.
Still learning. They're all adults now, and they've got their own children.
Yeah. 5 grandkids now. It's like continual learning.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I know for me, like, I made the change, like my spiritual journey really began with the children, especially with my second one. I wanted to become the best version of myself for my children, because I could see the old me, if I continued down that path, that just, it wouldn't be that great for them, and I would have been attracting those energy vampires that you talk about, and having, that world for them, which is, so I can definitely relate. And thank you for sharing. You've just, I hope everyone's got a lot from this live, because I know that I have, listening to your wealth of knowledge.
Great questions. Thank you for your questions, Georgina and Tracy. They're great questions.
Yeah. Has anyone else got any questions? Adrian, do you want to ask anything else?
Yeah. I'd like to ask Mel a little bit of a question on the biggest challenge of the gratitude work. What do you feel is a challenge for you in terms of that gratitude work? What comes to mind for you?
Well, personally, I'm a technophobe.
Yeah.
And I feel like a victim when it comes to the online stuff. Motorbikes going by. So I've had this vision for 10 years of what I want to do online. and I've been looking for computer programmers for that long to help me just enact my vision. And you think it would be simple, and I'm just saying, hey, this should be simple, guys. Why can't we reach 300 people, and why can't we have this affiliate system that's all automated, and why can't, so I've got all these things I want to do, and I'm flat out finding a good Facebook social media person, and so what I realized I had to do was that my law of attraction needed tweaking, because if I'm not attracting those kinds of people into my life, clearly I'm not ready for them. And so I took it back to, well, I want to be doing more. I want to be really doing some really great things. I don't have the technology behind me, and that's about to change, because I have just actually aligned with a really kick-ass technical person who has actually just come on board my team, and then I've actually got some angels who have just also come on board my team, and they've come on board because they love what I do and they want to work with me and in alignment with me. So that's kind of like, whoa, I think the last couple of years has been about me just still going into that self-worth and still processing my own self-worth issues, to the bottom.
Yeah.
And then just by luck, my law of attraction changed, and I just met the people that I needed to meet, and I didn't have to really do anything. They just recognized me and said to me, we want to work with you. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Business plan, just keep looking at your resistance.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's it coming from?
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
But I will also say, Adrian, that just in the last kind of 2 years, it's been a really big time of expansion. I will also say that there was a lot of fear inside me, and I could kind of move towards something like doing a live, for example, or just move towards something that I was doing, and I would just feel absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
Like absolutely terrified, because, well, I don't know why. I'm terrified. And so I had to just kind of really start to go, what's this feeling that I'm having in my body? It felt like anxiety.
Yeah.
You want to do something and all this anxiety comes up. Like, let's just say you want to fix a problem on your computer and all of this anxiety comes up. Well, I started tuning into the fact that this anxiety that was coming up was my fear. Because I felt disempowered.
I always say anxiety is just a posh name for fear.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I think you're right, and I think when I started fast tracking, as soon as I started identifying my anxiety as fear, I got on the fast lane, because I'm going, no, you got fear. Oh, that's good. I must be making a transformation. I must be going through a tunnel right now, because if I've got fear, then clearly I'm moving through resistance, but it's really scary.
Yeah. exactly. Putting yourself out there on a massive scale.
Yeah.
And so you had fear around that, so you're blocking the people to come in, and now you don't. So watch out, world.
Well, here's how it works though. I'm blocking the fear, right? So if I'm blocking my energy, guess what? I'm blocking my law of attraction. So here's these people who are waiting here in the wind, in my future. They're waiting here to work with me, and here I am suppressing my energy.
Yeah.
How are they going to find me?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work like that. So as soon as I go, oh my God, I'm fearful. I'm fearful of opening up. I'm fearful of being successful. I'm fearful of meeting all of my goals. I'm fearful of being on an international scale. I'm really scared of this. Then of course I'm just going to be like at home watching Netflix.
I am grateful for my fear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think, what, I reckon fear runs us all the time, and we are just so disassociated from the energy of fear.
Yeah.
I want to write a book that says fear is your friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
We've really got to get into right relationship with fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful emotion. It's a beautiful energy. It keeps us safe. It lets us know when we're transitioning from one state to the next. It lets us know when we're growing. It lets us know when there's a path that we're not to walk down. It's a really good energy, but we're not in the right relationship with it because we just block it.
Yeah. Exactly. I had a little bit of fear around this live, you know, because it's a little bit different, and I was getting people to join in to the Zoom rather than going on live. So, you know, it's like if we don't have many people join in, then, you know, you might think, well, geez, you know what I mean? So, and what was the issues that I had, the mutes, you know, I had a few issues, and I'm like, Melanie, I don't know. We can do this. And she's like, it's okay if we can't, but you told me to sit with it and see what, because obviously you could feel my energy on the phone, and I'm a bit like,
I'm getting scattered. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going to happen. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen either.
Exactly. And it's the fear around what I just said then, you know what I mean? It's like, and because that fear, like I wasn't obviously lying about the things that are happening, and Adrian's here doing it, but just the energy of that fear out there created that blockage, which I could have let it be a full-on blockage and we didn't go live, but instead I pushed through it. No, we'll just do it, you know, and exactly. Adrian can help. Yeah.
And we still have technical issues, and it's still a bit annoying, but we found a way to overcome those issues with the help of Adrian. So look, we just did it, and we just engaged in a creative process. And that is, we're doing it, and we're doing it anyway. We're going to overcome any obstacles because we're just going to do it anyway.
Exactly.
I think if you apply that to your life.
Exactly.
So what have we learned here? Enlist help, get support, and do it anyway.
Exactly.
And acknowledge the fact that we've got fear.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what, get some help. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Alrighty. So Georgina, how do you move forward out of the fear when you know how something affects you and your fear is related to that? I've just spent 3 days very ill due to getting past a fear. Does that make sense to you? You can read it too, can't you?
Yeah. How do you move forward out of the fear when you know something affects you? I think that just the simple answer to that, Georgina, is to acknowledge the fear and to feel it. So giving yourself a little bit of space to feel the fear. So what a lot of people do is they have the fear, right? And they'll override the fear. Right? So they're really, really scared of something, but they'll put on a really brave face and they'll get their energy all, you know, caffeined up, and they'll go ahead and they'll do it anyway. And they look at this. Hi.
I got to pull up my mum.
You know those people? And they're fully tweaked, right? Terrified. They're terrified. And, you know, so they're raising up, they're riding above. Right? And I think what I'm saying here is, if you know you've got fear, then you need to be gentle with that. You need to be patient with that, and you need to be conscious with that, but to let it live inside of you, and to be vulnerable with that, and to say, oh, you know, rather than, you know, riding above, you might just say, oh, I'm really scared right now. I've got a lot of fear running inside of me. And you might say that to the person that you're with, or you might say that to your friends, or, you know, people say, hi, how are you? Everyone says, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You might say, well, actually, I'm processing fear right now. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, how's that for you? What are you fearful of? Well, this is what I've been trying to do, and this is what's coming up, and oh wow, gee, I can relate to that. And therein, right there, you've actually just created a foundation for a place for your fear to live, which is with your soul. So when you override fear, push through fear, what you're actually doing is you're disassociating away from a part of your being. So you're disassociating, you're not carrying it with you. So what we want to do is we want to be whole souls living in an authentic state, carrying our parts with us in a loving way. And that is when you really start cooking with gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be loving.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think about people that get on stage and because you hear people say, just get on stage and say that you're nervous. But then I've got somebody in my life that says, don't do that because you're putting energy towards that nervousness and then you'll, you know.
Can I share a little story there? Just when I first started public speaking, 20 odd years ago, what I used to do was go on stage with the microphone, and I'd say to the audience, I'm feeling really nervous right now and I need to do a big can you all please stand up and do it with me?
Oh,
And
yeah.
people stand up and go, ah, with me, so they could feel the energy. And it was a great way to do the icebreaker, to get rid of my nervous energy and engage with the audience. And it was so much fun. But I had to name it and release it, like Mel was saying, you know.
Yeah,
It's pointless trying to hide behind it because people can see it, they can feel it.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So that's really cool. So yeah, naming it and then doing something like that to shift it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And engaging.
Perfect. Yeah.
It was good fun.
Yeah. And now you're a professional speaker. I've seen you on the
And I
stage.
still get nervous, and I still share that story occasionally if I need to.
Yeah.
A little bit of anxiety is actually energy. So you can use that as energy. So it's energy. So if you use that anxiety as energy, but still to do the thing, then you're using that energy in a productive way. But if you're shying away from that anxiety and you're turning away from it, then you're hiding from it, and so you're not using it. So you know you might as well use that energy. And mostly people say, even the good actors who even the really, you know, the professional actors who you know, go on stage today and get behind a camera, they will all say that they're still really scared.
Yeah.
They don't really know what's going to happen because they're in a creative process.
Yeah.
Right on the adrenaline, you know. It's so
Right
fun.
on the
Fun.
adrenaline.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that that's where having faith and trust in something too helps us get through that. To know that, you know, like as Gabby Bernstein, like the universe has your back. She's written a book, and it's so true. Just knowing that the universe, if that's what you want to say, has your back, so you're safe in stepping out and doing those things. Yeah. Because even if you mess it, you know, there's no, as they say, there's no failure, is there? It's only learning and growth.
And I look, and I just have to say, Georgina, that when I first started singing, I would literally disassociate out of my body. So I remember sitting on a bar stool with a guitar and singing, and I remember leaving my body and floating about 2 meters above it, and then looking down, witnessing myself sing that song. Wow. And you know, that's how much disembodiment I was carrying, and so I then realized that unless I kept doing it, I would never become comfortable on that bar stool. So I go back, I do it again, I go back, do it again, I go back, I go back, I go back, until I no longer disassociated.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Just the memory of it was freaky.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are, I think persistence is also pretty important.
Yeah, exactly. Georgina's asking, you can see her questions as well. When is it related to an allergy that is rare? How do you disassociate?
How do I disassociate?
I think she's talking about herself. So obviously there's allergies because she's talking about there's something going on in the family line. How does she disassociate from the allergy, I suppose?
No, it's pretty hard to disassociate from an allergy, isn't it? Because it's kind of it's your body, it's a body awareness. I'm just really not understanding the question clearly. Perhaps you could just give us a little bit more information, Georgina, of what's going on, and so that we can understand what it is that you're asking.
Yeah.
What I will just say at that point, at that junction, is that when you've got some physical things running through you that, you know, they're quite obviously quite causing you distress, it's often traced back to a lineage, a family lineage, that something that you're carrying, something that hasn't been dealt with, you know, kind of back here. And if you're carrying it, then and it is connected to your genetics, to your structure, then that actually can be resolved by doing an illness constellation. You can actually look at things like an allergy. You can actually constellate your allergy. We can get your allergy in the room, and we can say to your allergy, what's
up, allergy?
What's up? You know, who are you? What do you need? What's going on? What are you connected to? What are you related to? And just I'm blown away by how much clarity has been gained, and healing of physical illnesses simply by finding out what this is actually about. Yeah. Now, and how would you disassociate? I'm just going to try to interpret that question. Allergic to fumes of alcohol. Okay, so Georgina's allergic to the fumes of alcohol, and going into society can be an issue. Sounds like a trauma.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, just not wanting to be there. So she's created that.
Well, it feels like a trauma to me, but not necessarily yours. I'll just give you an example. There was a family who whose grandfather stole a loaf of bread. He was, living in the UK, and he was sent out to Tasmania on the boat and sent to prison for stealing a loaf of bread. And 2 generations after him, they became bakers in Tasmania, and they hated it. And just being around the bakery just gave them so much trauma all the time. And there was this family business that they were just like gnarly, and they hated it. And when they just had a look at, well, what's the source of this energy? No one wanted to be a baker, by the way, but what they were doing was they were paying back a karmic debt from a trauma that had happened 2 generations before, around the fact that this person was sent away from his family. The people he stole the bread from, they were also traumatized because they weren't worried. The government sent him away. So there was this trauma back here, right back here, and it creates this bakery trauma here. So this is very specific. This is an alcoholic fume that is activating you in a traumatic way, and I'm just sensing that this is a trauma that goes back in your lineage somewhere. So if you even jump on ancestry.com and just have a little bit of have a look at your genetic background, have a look at, ask your parents about the stories, find out about your grandparents, find out about their relationship to alcohol, find out what your great-grandparents used to be, have they worked with it, maybe he was a chemist, maybe he OD'd on alcohol in the laboratory. Like it's so specific, you're allergic to the fume of an alcohol, that I reckon this is an epigenetic story, and that you can get healing from and relief from this. Okay, so you have Aboriginality in your family. That's a huge toxin in the genetic structure of our originals. They don't have a genetic history with this substance. So you do. And this is intense for you. You have an opportunity now to do a lot of healing work with this for your clans, for that part of genetics in your blood that has really been knocked around and traumatized by this frequency of alcohol. I would love to constellate you.
She probably wants to be constellated. Yeah.
As soon as you said that, because I feel very sad about the fact that we've been here 200 years and we've introduced things like wheat and alcohol into culture. We've destroyed culture with these toxins. So you are now reacting to this toxin in your system at a really intense level. And I would say that this is part of your soul mission, to actually do some healing work. Transmute. So don't be a victim in this whatsoever. Take the baton. Don't think that this is a hindrance in your life. This is a mission that you've been given, and that you will actually get to the bottom of this, and you'll resolve it. You'll process it. Process this fume through your cells, and you process it for the generations and the generations before you, and you'll do a lot of healing work simply by owning it and clearing it. You'll do that for your lineage.
This is that moment of gratitude. I'm grateful for the allergy.
Yeah.
Because it will take me to the next level of my life. And this is, I think, what Mel was bringing at the beginning of the show, looking at the gratitude for the adversity. And this is an opportune moment to grasp this now. It's actually quite beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
I know, and it appears. It appears crippling. I get that. Your physical body is reacting in a very crippled state, and I can really have a huge amount of empathy for you, because I am chemically sensitive and also electromagnetically sensitive, and I understand how crippling it can be in this dimension. At the same time, that was my doorway to health. That was my doorway to the fact that I now do what I do. That was my spotlight on who I could become. Right? So the first thing you need to do is just to accept the fact that you have this and to stop resisting it.
Yeah.
Step one. Okay, universe, for whatever reason, you have this particular sensitivity to alcohol. For whatever reason, step one, I accept that. Can't give thanks for it, just give acceptance. I accept that, because if you don't accept it, you're not actually being with what is. Yeah. So it's great that you've come to that acceptance point, and I get that you've accepted. So now, okay, what are you showing me? What are you teaching me? What is it that I what is it? What do you want? What is it that you want? I'm talking to the alcohol now. What is it? Because it's going to show you something. Yeah. Yeah.
And Georgina, if you do want to go a bit deeper with Mel, just send us the page a message. I'll send an email to all you.
Oh, actually, I should just say that we have technology now where I do the constellation pieces online.
Oh,
so
cool.
We can actually do a real time and space constellation work where we both have the pieces, and we can actually do this work online. I love working in groups, but for situations where that's not always possible, we can actually do this on a one-on-one basis using tokens. So
yeah. Awesome. See,
and Byron Bay is a great place to go and visit for a workshop.
Yeah,
or Bali.
You're in Bali as well, aren't you?
Yeah, or Bali. Yeah.
Bali.
Yeah.
I might be going with you, Georgina. I got some stuff there too that I've got to work on, as we all do always anyway. Yeah, well, that's amazing. We've been 2 hours, guys, chatting. So we might leave it there. But thanks so much, Mel, for coming on and sharing your wisdom with us. And thank you so much, Adrian, for helping out as well and for your questions. Is there anything you want to say? Last thing you want to say before we go, either of you?
I'd just like to give my gratitude from you and Mel for today. I've learned a lot. I'm taking away a lot, and I have some questions for myself. So gratitude and thank you.
Yeah, I have too. It's been awesome. Thanks, Mel.
Look, thank you so much, guys. It's been heaps of fun, and yeah, let's do it again sometime. It's been great.
Yeah, it has. And Georgina lives in Queensland. That's not far from Byron.
Not at all.
All right, guys. And thanks everyone for watching, and thanks everyone that joined in, and we will see you all soon. Well, Adrian and I will on Spiritual Events.
We will on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm interviewing Adrian on Monday. So tune in for that. That's 10. Is it 10 o'clock Queensland time?
10 a.m. Queensland time.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So, yeah. All righty. See you guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.